section. This is section 2 of the SPS 6 in Oklahoma. Section 2 is a 1,000 foot rigid JCP section. All the delineator posts are in good shape. However, the section marking, the right-of-way marker is missing, and the actual project number sign is missing. Here we have one of the high severity rigid patches. They look like areas of joint restoration. On pretty much all of these, I think it was consistent throughout the section that all these patches, the lead joint was an actual joint, sawed and sealed, you know, a good 3/4 inch at least. But then on the approach joint, you can see this has a lot of sealant. This isn't a very good example, but I think you can kind of tell on the edges where there isn't too much sealant that all they did was really saw it. They didn't put a full joint. You can see it better in the other lane. It's not like the leaf joint. I'm not sure exactly how we did it last time. I think we surveyed it that that saw joint wasn't an actual joint, so we didn't take any fault meter measurements on it. But I went ahead and did it this time, just so I figured we could see what was going on when we got back inside. Basically, all this has is the patches, like where there was joint restoration, and I think the joints are about 60 foot spacings. But other than the patching, there's just some few transverse cracks and longitudinal cracks. From summarizing the sheets, I noticed that really not too much has changed. The cracks have grown, you know, a couple feet in areas, and a few other transverse cracks have appeared, but other than that, it's pretty much consistent like last year. No signs of bleeding or severe faulting were noticed out of this site. As you can see, right here at this one, we have the saw joint and then the actual joint on that patch, or that restoration. I think those were the original joints at 60 feet, and then when they went ahead and they patched, I don't know if it was heavily spalled on that side, but they went ahead and sawed that and replaced that concrete. Another patch, a little bit larger, some faulting amongst the pieces of the patch. That's what put most of these to a high severity level. And then that's some squirrely SOB. I haven't figured out what the hell he's doing here. But here's one joint. It has a little cracked area spall, and then has a flexible patch where it had had a high severity spall. As you noticed, they have like crack sealant down there, but there is no real joint, longitudinal joint with that AC shoulder and the edge of the concrete. Over here, there's the actual concrete joint, longitudinal joint. It's in decent shape. Another joint restoration. This is at Station 5. All the paint markings rack or paint stripes are actually in good shape. Here we have like a blow up almost at that patch. It's a high severity where that joint restoration is. This was an interesting distress because that little flexible patched area there where that spall was, or longitudinal crack that spalled heavily, was not big enough to be really considered a patch, but yet there's that spalled area there, so it wasn't counted. Here we're getting up on station 3. Again, we have a longitudinal crack that's spalled and patched. That rigid patch was in good shape. All in all, it looks like it's in good shape. Coming to station 2. The shoulder really looks good on this road. As you can see, it really doesn't have any distress. There's the delineator. Some pretty good faulting going on along some of these joint restorations. Now here you can see where this does look like a joint restoration, because you see on the other lane the joint. This is at about station 1+60. The surface looks pretty good, however it does have signs of map cracking along the center of the lanes and along the edges. All of the transverse cracks were of low severity. Here we have another one where the joints don't match up along the lanes. That was a joint restoration on the other side. Flexible patch, patching up the spalled joint. And then here we come to station 00. Missing the right-of-way marker, like I said, and the beginning of the project. This is the beginning of the SPS 6.